Hey, Snail Creek Homestead. It's getting to be fall, so we're going to have to talk about the firewood. Have to talk about the firewood pile here. What do you do with it? So when it comes in, some maybe big logs we bring in, chopped up to 16 to 19 inches long probably. Um, so we got to split it. So we use different kinds of methods to split our firewood. One of them, this is what I call a maul, splitting maul. It's got a heavier head on it than an axe. And this is my preferred choice. You got an axe you can use. For lighter wood, kindling, or thinner wood, an axe will work. I hardly ever use it, but I probably should utilize it more often. We also got a hydraulic wood splitter for the tough pieces. As my boys are gone, growed up now, so the hydraulic wood splitter works pretty well since I lost my labor force. And so we'll talk about a few little things, few techniques of splitting this wood. So we'll talk about the thicknesses of it too, because like a wood like this is manageable for me. It's this is an oak, and oaks are good. I got beech. There's just a lot of different kinds of wood I just kind of come across. So a couple of techniques is, if you, some of this is a thinner, already like pre-split, maybe in the woods. Some of it I get from sawmills, just wherever I can get my wood at. So you got bigger chunks is all night wood. You got smaller pieces, that would be, you know, your kindling, your starter wood. So get that. Sometimes you need that firebox to get heated up to get some coals going there. So I'll show you a couple times, places we split this wood, and we can kind of talk about a couple of techniques that you learn over a lifetime of splitting wood. So we'll take this piece for example. This is a decent sized piece of wood. It needs split this direction. When I look it over, I notice it's thicker on this end. So we're going to flip it up, and then we'll split it from the biggest point down, because that's where most of the impact of the splitting maul is going to hit. So that's just a small trick that you can use to get more force out of your hitting of your wood. So I'm going to hit this, and the first time I hit it, I'm just going to hit it like half force, because I don't know if I'm wasting my energy or not. Every hit can't be 100% full force, because you won't last long. At least I don't last long like that. So we'll look at that. So we'll take a whack at that. So it split pretty good, about half force. And so I got a nice piece of oak that'll burn real nice in my fireplace. Wood stove actually. But so then we can look at another technique on a bigger log that you always have fun when young guys come over to want to see how strong they are to split wood. I'll show you some of that. So here's a bigger piece of wood, pretty good diameter, probably 30 inches maybe, pretty irregular thickness. It's buried in halfway into this other pile of wood I got. But your young guys, even when I was young, I would take off trying to split this dude right down the middle here. That is not the way to do it. You beat your brains out on this dude. So we don't do that. What do? Let me get this thing moved around here. So what we do is we'll hit it maybe like that. So you take the edges off. You start taking edges off, and then your edges off here, and then your edges off here. That way, if you powerhouse right through the center of it, it's most likely not gonna split. So I won't get to this till fall or winter, so that's a good thing. So I don't want to have to tackle that. But by hitting it on the edge, I can't do it one-handed, so we're not gonna fly. But that'll help you break down a big piece of wood. That way you don't have to just, you know, slam it in the center and hope, you know, it works. It might, but it takes time to figure out what to do. You can split a lot faster by taking bites off something. Let's talk about a couple kinds of wood that is enjoyable to split and not enjoyable to split. So, as soon as you see a piece of wood that looks like this, with a big gnarly knot on it, it's got all kinds of things going on in the grain. This would be you can see there's a knot on the other side. When you hit that, you'll know it, because it probably won't split. So this has all kinds of different directions of grain. When you get all them different directions, it makes it really hard to split. So what you like is like the one I split before. I cheated because I knew it was an easy one to split, because it had a straight grain, all pretty straight. It did have a thicker base on it, so that was a good thing to understand. But not being so thick, it split quite well. So I know there's a lot of new homesteaders out there and a lot of new people that wants to, you know, heat with some firewood. Things are getting pricier, so I would say it's probably a good thing to do. I always enjoyed firewood. There's nothing better for me than sitting around the fire, and a lot of good times, a lot of good memories, and it keeps you warm. It keeps your family warm. But you're always working with firewood. You know, you'll work all that winter for just getting some heat. And it ain't just heat, I get that, but you're working a year ahead, because wood has to be seasoned. What is seasoned, right? Seasoned is a drier wood, the sap and whatever else is in there that creates creosote in your chimneys, and it just won't burn as good. So you need a dry wood, at least a year, you know, year-old stacked wood. My problem is I do it like this. So this wood is a year old. I just throw it in a big pile because I need to split a lot of it before I stack it. Stack it and dry if you can. Tarp it. Make it accessible to you, because it's a pain when there's snow on the ground or ice. And here you are trying to, you know, get your wood in. I wheelbarrow most of my wood in, probably a load every day or every other day into the house. So it's fall. It's just turned, the sun's coming up. I'm trying to hide behind this pile to keep the glare down on this camera stuff, but I thought I'd just throw out a little bit of wood preparation, something to think about. When you hit the piece of wood and that's in the back of your brain, you'll say, oh yeah, maybe I won't hit this dude straight on, big old honking piece with a knot in it that won't split. The bad pieces, I don't throw them away. Like that knotty piece, that's for the hydraulic wood splitter. I just chuck it off the side. When I get a pile of that, bring it over, and then we will split the wood if I can get to it. Hopefully I get some help, but you know, you're pretty much on it on your own. So, you know, the great big pieces, like the one you've seen over there, I call great big. I try to get one of the boys come over and they'll help me get them up on the log splitter if we can, and then just go at it. With the helper, you can really get stuff done. So, winter's coming. We need to keep warm. We need to make sure our food's put up for the year. We still got time. Think about some foraging. You got some things out there like tree nuts. That's going to be a fun thing to do. Go hiking with your family and pick you up some good nutritious nuts. Black walnuts are excellent. You know, I like a hickory nut. There's a lot of other kinds of nuts out there, but that's what we use a lot of here. So, Snow Creek Homestead, out.